numbers are much greater than on the financial statement. And we've already proven that. They said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Mar-a-Lago's worth anywhere from probably 50 to 100 times more than that. And it's a terrible, terrible thing. These are political operatives that I'm going to be dealing with right now. You have a racist attorney general who made some terrible statements, and you see some more that came over the wires today. It's a very sad situation for our country. We shouldn't have this. This is for third world countries. And very unfair. It's very unfair. But in the meantime, the people of the country understand it, they see it, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
They are behaving like Vladimir Putin's stooges, Judge. They are just like Vladimir Putin's lawyers. If you guess this is what Donald Trump's lawyers argued that the behavior was on the part of the New York Attorney General prosecutors in the civil fraud trial as week 6 concluded, ding, 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 you would be correct, because everything Trump and his lawyers do and say are the ultimate projection and confession. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. You heard that right. Donald Trump's lawyers were arguing in connection with their motion to dismiss. It's called a motion for directed verdict after the prosecution rested after the testimony of Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric, and Donald Trump concluded. One of the arguments by Christopher Kise on behalf of Donald Trump is that the prosecutors have behaved like Vladimir Putin's lawyers, and this feels like it's Russia. And now they want to try to exclude our rebuttal experts, because one of the motions the prosecution filed, the New York AG's office, is to exclude certain experts that Trump wants to bring in Trump's case in chief as they present their defense over the next coming weeks, because the New York Attorney General's office says these experts fundamentally won't change the underlying facts of the fraud being committed. If Donald Trump wants to come in and have a real estate agent say, for example, that Mar-a-Lago is valued at $150 or $250 million, or that the inflated valuation is a reasonable one, Judge, what's the point of having that expert? Because the reason why Mar-a-Lago was valued between $18 and $27 million is because that's how the Trump organization valued it. That's an undisputed fact, so that they could pay less in property taxes. So why do we even need to hear from these experts at all? To which Christopher Kise, Trump's lawyer, said, they're behaving like Putin. And then Judge Engoron was like, excuse me, that is McCarthyism. I will not allow that in my court at all. Why would you behave like that, Christopher Kise? And to make those ad hominem attacks and personal accusations that make absolutely no sense. By the way, Christopher Kise came back during a break and even apologized for what he said. And he said that he's sorry that he said that, and he will not call the prosecutors Putin stooges again. And he said, when you're right, you're right. One of the things Judge Engoron did, which I think was the right decision as well, he did two things. He didn't rule on the directed verdict motion yet, which is the motion to dismiss, but he will. He's going to reject and deny that. I have no doubt about that, because he's already found summary judgment against Donald Trump. There's no disputed facts that Donald Trump, the Trump organization, and the other defendants engaged in the conduct. You just have to look at their documents, and in the testimony from Trump, Don Jr., Eric, all of the top Trump executives, nobody claims to have any responsibility for their statement of financial conditions. So there's no way they can dispute what the documents say when the New York Attorney General's office shows the documents and shows the conflicting valuations on their various documents, and is able to show, look, this is what, by their own account, by their own admission, these statements are fraudulent. Here's what they're saying to this party. Here's what they're saying to that party. And when we ask Trump about it, he goes, I don't know. I left it to McConney. Okay, McConney, what do you think? Well, Weisselberg told me to commit fraud. All right, Weisselberg, chief financial officer, you tell me about it. Well, I'm not a CPA. I don't know generally accepting accounting principles, and I don't recall. All right, Eric, what do you know about the statement of financial conditions? I don't review them. I don't really know. I just pour concrete. Okay, Don Jr., what do you know about the statement of financial conditions? I don't do that. That's why we pay people millions of dollars. They do it. Okay, let's ask these people. Hey, Mazur's accountant, What do you know about that? We got all our information from Donald Trump and the Trump Organization. And if it was fraudulent, we basically made it clear that they are the ones that are responsible for it. Okay, well, what about you, insurance company Zurich? What do you feel about this? Well, their fraudulent representations were material to our decisions. What do you feel, Deutsche Bank? Yeah, we rely on data, and if data is false and fraudulent, that can impact the decisions that we make. All right, Ivanka, what do you know about it? I don't really know anything about it. So there's nothing to dispute the New York Attorney General's evidence. And one of the things that Judge Engoron took his time to do, though, and I'll share with you Lisa Rubin, a great attorney who's there in the courtroom, who is live tweeting what Engoron was saying. Engoron went through his summary judgment motion and he schooled Donald Trump's lawyers and Eric and Don Jr.'s lawyers about what this case is all about and why there was a summary judgment ruling finding liability already, and why Judge Engoron is skeptical that rebuttal experts are even going to be necessary here. Nonetheless, Engoron said, I'll allow the rebuttal experts simply because I want to have a fulsome record here. I am capable, as the trier of fact, the one who's going to be hearing all of this, to recognize the purpose of rebuttal expert, whether it's relevant or not relevant to the underlying fraud. And there's no need to exclude them, if that creates an unnecessary appealable issue. So we'll allow them to make their points, but I'm not going to let them go on tangents here. But here's the key thing that Judge Engoron said. He was like, okay, let's talk about the triplex. The triplex valuation was fraudulent. The Seven Springs valuation was fraudulent in 2014 because it concealed the existence of an appraisal. The triplex value was fraudulent because it said that it was 30,000 square feet when it was 10,000 square feet. The value of the apartments at Trump Park Avenue was fraudulent by disregarding rent control restrictions. The value of Mar-a-Lago was fraudulent between 2014 to 2021 because it disregarded binding restrictions on its use and development. Then Engoron recapped the several golf courses as fraudulent because they included a brand premium, despite stating that the brand value was not incorporated in the statements. And he gave another 10 examples of that and said, here's why the summary judgment was the way it is. These are undisputed facts that took place here, and there's no way for you to rebut them. So I'm not quite sure what an expert is going to say here that's going to be helpful, but the judge nonetheless said, I will allow experts to testify, but if they are in any way veering off into areas that have zero relevance, I'm going to cut them off if that's a waste of time. And one of the things that the New York Attorney General lawyer did to make crystal clear is, look, Judge, there's really just 4 elements to decide here that's left. Number 1, intent. Did the defendants intend to defraud? Whether there were conspiracies to violate 3 New York criminal statutes, the amount of disgorgement, and which equitable remedies requested by the AG should be awarded. So there are 4 things left to decide, and none of the experts relate to that after Your Honor's summary judgment order. And Judge Engoron basically said, hey, I'm still going to let the experts in, and we will make the conclusion at the end. But do you see why it is that there are undisputed issues here that no matter what, the experts can't rebut? So how do you think Donald Trump responded to this all? You think he responded in a mature fashion? No, Donald Trump started posting on his social media photographs of Judge Engoron with his shirt off. And Donald Trump was saying that somehow Judge Engoron sharing photos in a high school reunion many years ago with his shirt off, showing I genuinely have no clue what he's even talking about. I'm not even going to try to create some rationality for what in the world is even going on there. But that's where we're at right now. The Trump lawyers claim Don Jr. is going to be testifying next week. I have no clue what Don Jr. can possibly testify to that could be relevant here, after he said during the cross-examination already that he doesn't know anything about the statement of financial condition, so it seems like his testimony is going to be entirely useless, but nonetheless, it should be interesting. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're going to give you constant breaking news updates as we get more and more testimony, so stay tuned. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your awesome support.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.